Hello and welcome to the Scratching Post, where we discuss all things relating to the greatest team of all, the mighty Geelong Football Club. My name is Brian Cobbock, and with me is another that bleeds blue and white, Luke Young. Hello, Luke.
How you going, man?
Yeah, going well, going great. Now, tonight, we're going to give our thoughts on last week's game, chat about this week's changes, our favourite Matthew Scarlett moment, and our tips for this week. First of all, let's start off with talking about the backline against the Blues. Now, our backline has been great this season after giving up some big scores in the first few rounds. Hats off to Chris Scott and Matthew Scarlett for formulating a plan that protects our backs from quick entries. Considering that we're losing the clearance differential most weeks and at the moment are the worst in the league, the backline is under constant pressure and is standing up exceptionally. Tom Stewart must be in the minds of all Australian selectors, as his form this year, and in particular against the Blues, has been magnificent. We also controlled the air last week. Stewart, Blitzarves taking marks in the packs, and Kolodajny bringing the ball to the ground where Tui and Buse were able to sweep it away. So that was really good. However, I felt our backline defensive pressure was down. This was reflected in the stats, with three of our back six only making zero tackles. So zero tackles between, I think it was Blitzarves, Kolodajny, and maybe Tui, I think. But three of our backs, and Tom Stewart had three as well. So our pressure, our tackling has to improve in the back line as well. So overall, you know, they did a pretty good job restricting a young and pretty talented forward line. It just increase those tackles and keep dominating the air. And this week we should be fine as well. What do you think?
Yeah, look, I think that our, especially Kolodajny, our backline did okay. Kolodajny's quietly becoming the new Tom Lonergan. You know, not super attacking, but can really lock down a key forward. Now, he played on Curnow, and Curnow's no mug, and he kept him pretty quiet, which I thought was quite good. I think that the back line was less of an issue than the midfield again. You know,
yeah, we can talk about them in a sec. Yeah,
problems we've had, but I didn't realise that they'd laid so few tackles in the back line. That could be just because the Blues entries were quite good. I don't know, but I do want to give a shout out to Collar, because I think he's doing a good job, and obviously Stewart.
Yeah.
Stewart, he's just unreal. He can share my bed.
He's big praise for Colo comparing him to Lonergan. I don't think he's just there just yet, but the signs are looking good. I'd actually like to see him up the ground a bit more when Henderson comes back up on the wing, because he's such a good mark. He uses
but he's not a great decision maker.
Yeah, I reckon he uses the ball really well.
He can kick it, but he quite often hangs onto it for a long time, which stunts the sort of fast running break play that we're trying to get going. I don't know. Look, I'm not bagging him anyway. I think he's doing really well as a lockdown backman.
Yeah, I can see that as well. Right, so let's talk about the mids. So we're still struggling to dominate the game as we expected our midfield would. Now, Selwood fought hard against the tag. Danger was dynamic around the ground, and his aerial presence for a midfielder is among the best as displayed against the Blues. Gary returned to some good form and increased his defensive efforts. I saw him dump Cripps a couple of times. That was great. And Menengola was absolutely fantastic, providing grunt inside and finishing with 2 goals. However, our disposal in the forward line is deplorable at times. We hit to Hawkins when he's 2-on-1 and rarely to his advantage. We need to hit more targets inside 50 with less pressure on them. It's the hardest kick in footy, I know, but to deliver inside the attacking area is one area we need to improve to contend in September. Our clearance work was also a major concern. We got smashed early. However, they tied it up a bit and we won the clearances 38-34 for the game. However, in the end, Carlton's clearances seemed effortless. They seemed to run the ball out of the pack. They seemed to be able to clear the congestion, whilst ours were always rushed and under pressure. I think, Luke?
Yeah, well, I think that, Carlton's clearance work was great, but Patrick Cripps is a jet. Like, he's an unbelievable clearance player. And I think the two things in the midfield swung the game in our favour. One was putting Menegola on Cripps in the second half and effectively shut him down, which was fantastic. I didn't realise Menegola could do a run with roll like that. So that's a good option. The other one was when we needed a bit of class, you know, coming out of half back through the midfield, Mitch Duncan stepped up and his delivery is just beautiful. You know, he hits somebody, laces out every time. got that turn of speed. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm a big one for disposal efficiency, and I think it's one of the main contributors to winning a game. And Duncan's use of the footy is absolutely fantastic. He kicks, low drop punts to hit targets, and generally every disposal he gets, he puts someone in a better position than him. So if he's in congestion, it goes out to someone who's got a bit of space. If he's under pressure by foot, he finds someone that's by themselves or not under pressure to take a mark. It's rare to see him give the ball to someone under pressure. So yeah, he was really good. And again, hats off to Chris Scott for making that move of Cripps of Menengola onto Cripps.
Yeah, you won't hear me wrapping up Chris Scott too much, but I will give him that one.
And finally, our forwards. So the forward line battled manfully as the delivery again was poor, which we've touched on. But all we need to do is give Hawkins a chance, and he shows time and again that one out he's near impossible to beat. One out, just kick it to him, one out. When there's two on him, it makes it hard. He can't jump at the footy. If he's scragging on the ground, someone just jumps over the mark and takes it. So just we've got to lower our eyes, give him the best advantage, kick it out in space, kick it to a one-on-one, but not just to bomb it in, because when that happens, the defence locks down and you can't run and jump at the footy. Now, Jermaine Jones kicking a goal with his first kick was fantastic, and floating forward created plenty of problems for Carlton as well. The main issue here is our delivery to the forwards. Tidy that up and we will improve dramatically. Luke.
Yeah, it's a tough one because the way footy's been played at the minute, it's just numbers around the ball. So unless you can move it into the forward line quickly, you're just never going to get a one out for a key forward. I think that's where Ablett needs to, he's been pretty good, but up his game. He was brought in to unpick those defences and deliver that final pass into a leading forward. So that's our way through this current sort of flood that is going on in footy. But outside of that, even though I got dropped this week, I thought Cramery worked really hard up and down the ground and was a really good sort of lead-up player. And like you said, when Hawkins can get one out, he generally marks it, at least brings it to ground. And we do that when we put Dangerfield or even Kelly went forward a little bit this week, we were able to give him plenty of space. So I don't understand why we can't do the same thing for Hawkins. I don't know why we don't do that.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I like it with Menengola and Tim Kelly, and we need more from Gary Ablett, is that delivery into the forward line. Menengola seems to be able to hit a target kicking in there. Tim Kelly showed over the first 7 or 8 rounds that he's a beautiful kick into the forward line and can hit targets. Just need a bit more from Gary as well.
He's gone through a quiet patch at the minute, Tim Kelly.
Yeah, it's the last couple of weeks. He was good in the last quarter. I thought he won a lot of footy in the last quarter. And let's be honest, we're under the pump at 3/4 time, and he stood up when it mattered. So I was pretty happy with his output at the end of the game.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting he needs to be dropped or anything. I think sometimes even I forget that he's in his first year of footy, and we expect him to be delivering week in, week out, like we do a Duncan or an Ablett or a Selwood, when it's not going to happen in his first year of footy. Doesn't matter how old.
Yeah. No, he's still learning the ropes, but I'm sure all Geelong supporters are out there are happy with him so far. Okay, so changes for this week. We've got McCarthy, Buzzer, and Fogarty in, with Radigalia, Gregson, and Cramery out. What do you think about these changes?
I was shattered that Radigalia did his leg. I love watching him play, so it's a real shame that he's they're talking about he might get back for finals, but I hope they don't bring him back for finals. I hope they just let him recover and start him again next year. So that means that Buzzer is essentially our next best option. We'll see. I haven't got my mind made up on Buzzer, whether he's going to be any good or not. Now's his chance to prove it. I think Link McCarthy, I always forget how good he is, and because he's always out for so long injured, and then he comes back and I'm like, whoa, he's actually pretty good. So I'm super keen to watch him play again. And Lockie Fogarty, I think they just gave him a rest. Young fella, played in some big games, so I'm happy to see him back. But it looks like we're going to go with a pretty short forward line.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Buzzer. I heard him interviewed on radio last year, and one of the comments he said was he's got poor vision and he picks up the ball real late. and it shows with his marking. He seems to get his hands on and then drops them, and maybe that's to do with the vision. So I'm not really sold on him, but as I said, he's probably the next best to come in because he can play forward and he can play in the ruck. So between him and Stanley, I'm anticipating they'll do the majority of the ruck and then rest forward. Really happy that McCarthy's in. As you said, he's a young, exciting player that we haven't seen enough of, but I'm really excited to see him play. He can jump, he can take a mark. He's a really good tackler, and he's pretty clean below his knees too. And Fogarty coming back, just had a couple of weeks rest, got his body right, young player, back in the side as well. And I think with Gregson going out, that's the logical match with that. Gregson's been a bit down. I loved him early in the game against Carlton. He tackled hard. And I love that aggression that he had towards the footy, but he's just not finding enough of it at the moment.
I think he got his too. I think he hurt his finger as well. I think that contributed to the reason why he didn't get much of the ball last week and he's going out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Cranberry going out is a bit of a shock to me because when he tackles, the player stays tackled. The ball doesn't come out. So he either wins a free kick or we get a stoppage. So it creates that opportunity for a turnover. So I was a little bit disappointed to see him being dropped, and I thought he'd been improving each week. He's contests the ball. He jumps at it. He's a nice kick for goal as well. And I was a little bit disappointed to see him dropped, but a week in the twos for him, and I'm sure he'll be straight back in. And of course, Radigalia, we spoke about that at the game. It was devastating to see. I'm of a different opinion. If he's right to go at the end of the season, let's get him in because that's probably our weakest link is that backup ruckman that can rest forward. So if he's right, he might be a X factor comes finals time.
I think that Wiley Buzzer will. I could see both of them playing in the team together. I'd prefer Radigalia to stay forward and not play in the ruck. And Wiley Buzzer's not bad in the ruck. He certainly matches it physically with the big ruckman in the league. So maybe that's an option down the track. I don't know. But,
maybe if he plays that way and holds his spot, I can't see Stanley holding his spot if Radagalia's recovers. I think he'd come straight back in for Stanley or Smith at this stage.
Yeah. Well, we've got a fair while to wait because it won't be at least until finals before they talk about his surgery. So.
Yep, and I suppose the other good news coming from that is seeing Dan Menzel out in the track training down on the St Mary's Oval, which is just adjacent to Kardinia Park. It was good to see him on the news. He seems to be moving well and maybe only a couple of weeks away.
Yeah, we've definitely missed him. He was snagging 4 goals a game. He was in unbelievable form before he hurt his groin, so we've definitely missed him.
Yeah, so that's good news that he's on the rebound. Well, not much news for Scooter or Cockatoo as yet that I've heard, unless you've heard something different.
I heard Cocky's training with the main group.
Okay, so he shouldn't be too far away either, so hopefully he'll be back soon. Now, for those who don't know, Matthew Scarlett was inducted into the Hall of Fame during the week, an absolute champion for Geelong and a cornerstone to not only their 3 premierships, but the culture that exists at Kardinia Park. Luke, what's your favourite Scarlo moment?
Oh, it's got to be the time that he chinned Hayden Ballantyne. He did something that people all around the country had been wanting to do for years. So that's definitely my favourite Scarlo moment.
For me, I've got 2. The toe poke in the 2009 grand final that led to the Paul Chapman goal. Absolutely brilliant. It's something that's itched in my mind. I was at the game. The ball came into the centre. It looked like we're going to turn it over and just a deft touch and we're away. Also, I love his Mad Monday sessions, dyeing his hair blonde to be Dermy and then shaving his head to be KB. Absolute legendary. And setting the bar so high for any fancy dress functions in the future. Absolute brilliance by Scarlo.
Yeah, no, he's a character. And we're just so lucky to have got him. He was... father, son, and in my opinion, the greatest fullback of all time. He invented the fullback getting 30 possessions a game. He could have played midfield if he wanted to, and seems just like a funny bloke too. So, and he's doing an awesome job coaching the back line with us at the minute. So, yeah, I'm Team Scarlo.
Yeah, I think he revolutionised the way the backline plays these days. You look at Alex Rance, the way he plays, he's definitely modelled his game off Scarlett, taking the mark, rebounding off halfback, providing an option. One of the things I always noticed with Scarlett, which I mentioned with Duncan, was he always put someone in a better position than himself. So when he delivered the ball, whoever received it could, run or take their time off a mark, that sort of stuff. So he always put someone in a better position than himself. Was always calculated. He always looked cool under pressure, and that again he revolutionised it. I read about Matthew Lloyd saying that he hated kicking a point because the next minute he'd be chasing Scarlett off the half-back line down towards the forward line and taking him out of position. And I remember there was a game down at Gideon Park where Scarlett ran the length of the field. They were playing St Kilda, kicked a goal, and Fraser Garrick was still in the goal square up there, down there in, with his hands on his hips. Yes, yeah, and
carpet snake.
and that's what I think Scarlett brought to the game, and the modern fullbacks like McGovern and Rance have based their game on.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally our tips for the week. For this week, so we play Gold Coast this week at their home ground. It's their first match there this year due to the Commonwealth Games. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to come out fired up. However, my tip is the Cats to win comfortably by 30 plus points, and Gazza to rip it up against his old mob. What do you think, Luke?
I'm less confident about this game. We have a funny way of losing to the Gold Coast up there regularly. So, look, we should win, and we should win by 4 or 5 goals. But that being said, if we have another stinker, it wouldn't surprise me entirely. But I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go positive and do us by 5 goals.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's what I think as well. I'll always be positive. Okay, thanks to the Geelong fans for watching. We appreciate your feedback and encourage your participation on the Facebook page. If you have any topics you would like addressed, let us know and we'll discuss them on our next show. So thanks again. See you soon and go Cats.
Go Catters.